Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. The Saints were back for another session of OTAs at the facilities today, and it was a good one. We won't waste any time. We're going to jump right into it and talking about attendance. In attendance, we had two guys back that wasn't there the last time the media was allowed at OTAs, and those two guys were Demario Davis and JT Gray. Now, both of these guys are really, really big for the Saints. They're going to play key roles in the Saints defense and in the Saints special teams. They're basically the top guys, or one of the top guys in both of those units. And Demario Davis being the captain of the team, being the leader of this team, just him being out there is definitely going to, boost the morale, boost the leadership, boost the play, someone to hold everybody accountable. With still other leaders out. So the leader of the defense is back. You got Derek Carr, who should be the leader of the offense this year. They're both out there. That's good for the offense. That's good for the defense. And JT Gray, even though the special teams unit, it's not really a unit because you have no idea who's going to be on what right now. He's going to be the leader of that group, and he's back out there. So those two guys being back out there, definitely a good thing. Some absences. You have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Ryan Ramczyk, Andres Pete, Marshawn Lattimore. None of this is concerning to me at all. These guys are probably not showing up to OTAs. When you're making $40, $50, $60, $70, $80 million, you don't have to show up for OTAs. That's just how it goes. If you're a rookie, a second-year guy, a guy that's trying to fight for a roster spot, you're going to be at OTAs. That's just how it goes. Ryan Ramczyk, you're not going to be at OTAs. Marshawn Lattimore, all-pro type guy, you're not going to be at OTAs. You shouldn't be concerned. You would love for everyone to be out there, but these guys are working hard. They're pros. They're not just, at home sitting around not doing anything all day. So not too worried about that. Now, one guy that was not there, I have no idea why he wasn't there, so I'm not going to jump into it too crazy. Could be family, could be nothing, could just be a day off. Who knows? Paulson Adebo, he was not out there. Now, it's going to be a close race between him and Alante Taylor. Them two guys are fighting for cornerback 2 spots. Maybe somebody will be in the slot. We'll talk about that a little later. But missing a day, maybe Alante Taylor scoots forward in that race. Maybe not. Maybe he takes a step back. But you just don't want to miss days, especially after the season he had last year. But it's OTAs, man. They're still in helmets. They're still running around. Missing a day is not the end of the world. Like I said, I have no idea why he missed. It could be an excellent reason that we just don't know about. So I'm not going to kill anyone for missing the OTA practice. Trust me. And it's a couple things I do want to talk about. That June 1st designation is coming up. That June 1st designation, you're going to see a lot of guys in the NFL probably get cut on June 1st. Why June 1st? It's because of financial reasons. That June 1st cut designation is when, you can save money against the cap. It's going to be financial relief against the cap instead of cutting them before then. Like some people may get cut in May or maybe in April, maybe in March. And you notice they always say it's a June 1st designation. So basically we're going to cut you now, but it's not going to take toll until June 1st. So a lot of guys have already been through that route, but it's still some guys that may not get cut. Maybe they, teams were undecided and they may cut them after June 1st. So free agency might get a little better. It's not going to be anything crazy. DeAndre Hopkins was just lucky, like him going into free agency. It might not be any crazy guys, but it might be some mid-tier guys, might be some depth guys, maybe some position you think you can get better at, maybe some linebackers come in, maybe some safeties. Who knows what's going to be out there in free agency after that June 1st cut, after that deadline right there. So maybe some more guys will be in free agency and maybe the Saints will be looking at more guys, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on, looking at those transactions. Let's see who gets cut, maybe even from the Saints. Maybe they have some June 1st designations that they want to get rid of. I highly doubt it, just because I think they would have done it already, and they restructured basically everybody that they wanted back. So I don't think we'll have any, but around the league there may be some June 1st cut guys, and if not, hey, so be it. Now, it's 2 main points I do want to touch on. 2 main points, and they're both sophomore guys. I keep saying I'm going to make that video about the sophomore class and how I hope they don't have a sophomore slump, and I'm really, really excited about that, sophomore class, which was obviously the rookie class last year. And we're going to start off with apparently the guy that was making the biggest impression, the biggest splash of the day today, and that was Rasheed Shaheed. And now, once again, we're coming back to the Rasheed Shaheed bandwagon. It's getting very, very full on that Rasheed Shaheed bandwagon. The guy is amazing. The guy is a beast. And in all honesty, I don't really know what I can add and say about him that I haven't said already. I mean, we've been through this for the longest, but I'll try to add something new. But apparently, Rasheed Shaheed had a very, very good day at OTAs. It's OTAs. They're in shirts, jerseys and pants, and their helmets, which that's going to definitely benefit a guy like Rasheed Shaheed. He's basically faster than everybody on the field, so obviously that's going to help him a lot just in that situation. But you still have to produce. You still have to look good out there. Apparently in a 7-on-7 in team drills, he was targeted 3 times and had 3 catches. Apparently he beat somebody on a double move and caught a ball from Jake Hayner. So the guy's out there looking good. Now, I already mentioned this. Last season, he was coming off an ACL injury. He had questions about could he play receiver in the league. He was basically drafted to be a return guy just about. Maybe once he got healed, he came in as a return guy, as a receiver, and played well. It was every week. You can check the tweets. You can check the videos. I'm saying play Rasheed Shaheed. We've seen enough from Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, and whoever else you want to name. Play Rasheed Shaheed. And they would. And they'll give him a pass, and they'll take him out the game. We all witnessed it. We all saw it. We all started saying the same thing after a while. Everybody jumped on that bandwagon, feed Shaheed. And we just really never did that. Maybe, like I said, the Saints didn't want to throw too much on his plate at once. But, man, year 2, he's been there an entire camp. That's the real big thing about him. He didn't have a camp last year, so I'm not going to kill the Saints too much for it. Actually, I am, because you just get the guy the ball. Find ways to get your playmakers the ball. But full OTAs, full training camp, full mini camp, should have the full playbook down by now, or pretty much most of it, and all bases are covered on that front. And it's time for him to step up, and it's time for him to show out. He's coming in as wide receiver 3. I don't think he can really move up from that, especially if MT's healthy and you got Chris Olave. But, I mean, he should be coming in with the mindset that he's the best receiver on the team. Everyone should really have that mindset, even if it's not true. You should come out and want to be the best player out there at all times. And Rasheed Shaheed, he has very, very special ability. When you can't teach speed, man, he has that quickness, he has that burst, he has that. He's going to be a really, really special player. And him standing out, it shouldn't shock you, it shouldn't shock me, it shouldn't shock the Saints. And I know it doesn't shock Rasheed Shaheed. Man, he's going to be a special one for the Saints. I'm super, super glad that we got him last year. I'm glad they let him showcase, what he can showcase, so that he comes in this season kind of knowing what he can do. The Saints have had a lot of receivers over the years that never really got a chance. You had Jalen McCleskey. You got Kawan Baker on the roster now. Those guys never really got a chance, to prove what they can do. Now we finally got a guy last year that got on the field just because of whatever the reason was, and he had a chance to prove something, and he played well. So now he's coming into this season with a bigger role, and we're expecting a lot from Rasheed Shaheed. Not gonna put too much pressure on him, but I expect a very, very good season from him, and I think he can be a wide receiver 3. The question is, can he play wide receiver full time? Is he just a return guy? Is he just a speed guy that can go deep, or can he run intermediate routes? Can he run short routes? Can he play on the slot? Can he play on the outside? It's a lot of things that the Saints are gonna have to try to figure out with him, and things that he's still going to have to prove to be a top receiver in it. Not a top receiver, but a top 3 receiver in this league on a roster. Still a lot to prove, but all signs are pointing up for Rasheed Shaheed, and I just know he'll be great. Second, another big thing coming out, which is, I won't really say it's big because it's kind of expected already. Alante Taylor, number 1, was lined up in the slot. Now, once again, this shouldn't shock a single soul. The Saints have 3 really good cornerbacks. You have one guy that's all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber. Then you got Paulson Adebo, had a really good rookie season. Had a little sophomore slump. You got Alante Taylor, had a really, really great rookie season. Now he's injury-prone and things like that. Didn't really get to play. And kind of lost his cornerback 2 job when Marshawn Lattimore got healthy. But he had a really, really good, rookie season. Played very, very well when he was out there. So they moved him to the slot today. I won't say moved him to the slot, but he got some slot snaps, and that's really, really good. We had Bradley Roby in the slot last year. We had Evans there sometimes. Putting Alante Taylor in the slot, you're going to have to be very, very versatile to play slot and outside, and I think he has the capabilities of doing that. Like I said previously, man, it takes a lot to play in the slot. You might be going running backs like the Elvin Kamara, CMC types. If they leak out, you might have tight ends. Just if you're playing against the Saints, Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau. You might have big receivers, small receivers. You just never know what you're going to get in that slot. Also, you're going to have different run responsibilities. Remember, C.J. Gardner-Johnson basically playing that spot for the Saints, and he was physical in the run game and things like that. Alante Taylor is gonna have to do that, and he showed things, last year that he's not scared to tackle. He's not scared to stick his nose in there and be a tackler, be aggressive right there. So I really think this is gonna be a perfect spot for him at that nickel position, basically replacing C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Maybe last year they didn't think he was ready for it, but I think this year, that's what's gonna end up happening. Just from, if me just guessing, me just kind of knowing the Saints, I think Adebo and Lattimore are going to start on the outsides, and Alante Taylor is basically going to start at your slot cornerback, which is fine with me. I think we're really solid on the outside. You can kind of leave Lattimore on the island. You can kind of help on the Debo side if need be. And then you have Alante Taylor in that slot, which we struggled last year to guard slot receivers. We really, really struggled to guard slot receivers. I mentioned this before when Mike Evans couldn't get away from Marshawn Lattimore, which is just every day of the week, a day that's ended in a Y. He can't get away from Marshawn Lattimore. They put him in a slot on Evans, on some other guys, and he was able to get open. He was able to get free. I think if you have Alante Taylor there, You don't have to worry about Marshawn Lattimore really following him to that slot. You can just have Alante Taylor there, and he can hold his own against any receiver in the league. He's already showed that as a rookie last year, and I expect nothing different this year. So those are the two big things, that I took away from what people reported out of Saints OTAs today. Alante Taylor a little bit in the slot, and Rasheed Shaheed being Rasheed Shaheed, and that just should not shock anyone. The guy's going to be a stud. And I've been receiving a lot of things about John Gruden and talk about John Gruden. Now, I have a video up about John Gruden and what I think. It won't be long. I won't have a real long spill about it, but I'll give my thoughts on the John Gruden situation and him coming help with the Saints or Derek Carr, whatever he did in whatever capacity, that he served. So that'll be it, man. OTAs, I think this is day 4 of 10. Got 6 more sessions left. Hey, we just need to get better every day and just, make it through it healthy. Those should be the only 2 goals. The guys that aren't healthy need to get healthy, and the guys that are healthy need to stay healthy. It's OTAs, they're not tackling or anything like that. So, hopefully we can make it through healthy. That's just the most important thing. And we need to get better. Dennis Allen did come out and say it wasn't the best of days, but like I said, it's OTAs day 4. You're not going to be looking like it's week 15 where everybody's prime. You have a lot of new faces. You basically, the quarterback to receivers, none of these receivers have caught balls from this quarterback before, except Foster Moreau. And he was in a backup role with the Raiders. So, you just have a bunch of new faces trying to get it together. And the offensive line is not 100%. You're missing like 4 starters on the offensive line. Penny's still not out there. Ramchick's not out there. Pete's not out there. Ruiz is still not out there. So, you're missing a lot of guys on that offense. The defense, not so much. They got some guys back. So it's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time. It's a lot of new coaches, a lot of new faces. You got a new quarterback. Like, it's a new running back. Your running back still isn't there. Missing receivers. Like, it's just going to take some time. So I'm not too worried about a bad OTAs practice. So we'll see. Hopefully we keep progressing. We're getting these rookies along. I haven't heard too much news about, the rookies so far. All we've really heard is about Brian Bresee. Then is that he's really, really athletic. And, that's why he went first round. You're that big, at that size, you can move. You're going to probably be a first-round pick. And that's what he was. So, he's probably going to start showing up when they put the pads on and things like that. It's just hard to get a gauge off the offensive lineman and defensive lineman when they just don't have pads on. It's just tough to gauge because you're at 100%, but you're really not at 100% because you really can't, hit people and run into people like you would with pads on. So we'll see how that progresses. But so far, so good. Everybody's healthy. I'm like what I'm hearing, like what I'm seeing on some of the videos, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. As always, it's the Boo Tragedies, and I'm out.